In July of 2000, a 22-year-old woman stepped out of her Florida home after a late-night phone call and was never seen alive again. Days later, her bound and weighted body surfaced in the Indian River. What followed was a painstaking, circumstantial case built from rope knots, duct tape, grocery bags, and dog hair. Tonight we break down the murder of Misty Morse and the forensic trail that led to a life sentence. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. If you thought Florida was just about the worst place in the world, stick around. Unfortunately, tonight's show will do nothing to change your mind. This is Necronomipod.
You guys want to skip work tonight and just go get like some sushi and beers?
The answer is always yes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all. I haven't had sushi in a long time, and I was just talking about it the other day that I need to get some.
Well, you know, as we record this, we are 5 days away from the Daytona 500, and there will always be sushi at my Daytona 500 party.
That's true. I didn't even think of it that way, so I don't even have to worry about it.
It will satisfy your craving.
Yeah, you got it coming to you, pal. Actually, the day this episode drops. Happy Daytona 500 day to everybody.
Yeah, to those that celebrate. Apparently now I celebrate.
For about 7 or 8 years now going.
So for those of you in Daytona, it will surely rain that day, and get your umbrellas out.
Jesus. All week, it's like a low chance of rain. And then, of course, on Sunday, 50% chance, which means it's 100% going to rain.
Yep.
Every fucking year. End up watching the thing at 2 o'clock in the morning when they finally get it finished.
Not me. I will be long gone by 2 a.m.
You'll be in a sushi coma by then.
I certainly will.
Last year was the first season of NASCAR in a long time where they had no races delayed to the next day. They might have had some rain delays, but they were able to get them finished, day of. So
Did we get the full thing in last year?
we did, but it was late. Like, I think everyone had already left probably by the time it ended. I think. I don't really remember. It all blends together.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah. It definitely rained, but I don't remember who all stayed to the end or not. Maybe everyone was still there. I don't know. Tended to be some alcohol flowing that day. Things get a little blurry.
Remember back in the early days, we used to start like super early, go to the breakfast and shit.
Yeah, we would go get breakfast, and then we would come back at 11 o'clock and just start doing power hours. The race didn't fucking start till 2:30, 3 o'clock. We'd be fucking blacked out before they went green.
I probably didn't see any of those race end.
That was my first one with you guys. You invited me to the first one. You're like, all right, we're going to go get some breakfast, and then we're going to start drinking at about 10:30.
Like, sounds awesome. Count me in. Yeah, because that used to be back when, I don't know, this is probably about 10 years ago, the UFC, because it's President's Day weekend, would run a Sunday night card on FS1. And so we would drink all day, do Daytona, and then watch the fights that night.
Yeah, I remember there was one year that sitting at your house watching the fights afterwards, I kind of felt like I drank myself sober since we had been started so early. Like, this is just...
You get so drunk, you're just like, I'm sober again, but I'm still drinking. Yeah, good times. Well, we'll run it back this year. Maybe if they get the race in on time instead of a fight night, we'll put on like an old WWE pay-per-view or something. Classic Attitude Era, suck it type trash. So anyways, big week for me. What's going on with you guys? Anything fun?
I mean, that's the highlight of my week. Like everything you just described.
Not too much. I will tell you guys, last Saturday, I went to see the band Tesla, the 80s band that I was a big fan of back then, a little 80s nostalgia music, until they started singing. And the lead singer, who is, I believe, 67 years old now, when he tries to hit the high notes, sounds like Cartman. And it is quite distracting. And music sounded tight. It was good. Still high notes. And he tries to hit him a lot, and he sounds like Cartman, and it was a lot to sit through.
I almost feel like that would be more entertaining.
Something. Yeah. So that's what I did last weekend.
Cartman. Well, that happens to all those guys, right?
Yeah, it's brutal. At some point, you're just like, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore.
There's a reason why there's a lot of lip syncing and stuff like that, and when Kiss plays, right, or when they did.
Certainly, we saw it many times.
Yeah, and even then it didn't sound great, but it was probably better than the live alternative.
Yeah, you can only do that for so long, right? Like Burt McCracken from The Used doesn't sound anywhere near what he used to sound like. It's just not possible to hit those kind of notes forever.
I went to that show last year. It was still good, but you're absolutely right.
I know. I saw a video of him playing an acoustic song recently. I'm like, fucking Christ, dude, stop doing that. That's not good. You can't hit any of those notes anymore.
Please stop. Please stop.
Brutal.
But other than that, like full band, yeah, he sounds pretty good. Just can't hit some of those notes.
The Tesla show was at the casino. So I was gambling beforehand. I went to cash my ticket in before the show. You know, you're waiting in line. And all those casinos now, you put your ticket in and it's like, do you want to donate your change to charity? Because who wants a bunch of change in their pocket? All these people in front of me, no. First, they're putting in multiple tickets. You put one after, put one in, cash it. Another one in, cash it. You put them all in and then you cash it all at once. Numbnuts. But then all of them are taking their change. You can't donate 24 cents to, fight childhood hunger. They're scooping in there, putting their change in there. I get up there and I told my wife, I said, I hate change so much. If this said, do you want to donate to build a statue of Hitler in front of the casino? I would say yes, because I don't want the change in my pocket. What's wrong with these people?
You mean you don't want your 17 cents?
No. Jangling around in your pockets?
No.
Come on.
I hate change too.
Losers. All right, that's all I got.
How much do you win big?
I won a couple $100 before the show.
Nice.
Oh.
I'll pay for 3 beers?
Something like that, yeah.
Last week we made the joke or got into the discussion of dog hair being used to solve a case. And then that sparked today's whole topic, right, Ian?
Yeah, last week there was some dog hair left behind, and when I got to that part in the story, I'm like, oh man, so this dog hair is gonna come back to haunt this person, and then it just didn't. So that kind of fucking sucked.
Womp womp.
So let's run it back and do some dog hair stuff.
Dave, try to keep your emotions in check this week. You were highly emotional last week talking about dogs.
I got a puppy this week after all that.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
I was gonna say I would have been over there already.
I fucking knew you didn't, but I didn't want to kill a bit, so I was just like, oh yeah, tell us about it.
Misty Morse was born on April 10th, 1978 in Springfield, Ohio. Her parents were Linda Morse and Bob Morse. Everybody who talked about Misty described her the same way, friendly, outgoing, and her dad called her a, quote, carefree spirit. The family moved to Florida while she was growing up, and by 2000, she was living with her mom, Linda, in Indian Harbor Beach on Florida's East Coast. She finished high school in 1996, and by her early 20s, she was doing what most people do, being social, dating, and trying to figure out what she was going to do next. By her early 20s, Misty had been involved with a few different guys, including a 28-year-old charter boat captain named Brent Huck. Brent and Misty met around 1998 and dated for a while. Brent later said their relationship was on and off and that it ended after he caught Misty cheating on him with his roommate. But even after they split up, they didn't really cut ties. They stayed in contact, and according to accounts in the case, they kept an on-again, off-again sexual relationship going on. By the summer of 2000, Misty was also spending time with a new guy, a friend named Bobby Cooper, who was interested in her. She also had at least one other ex in the mix, a guy named Teddy Underwood. In early 2000, Misty reportedly told some people that she was pregnant and implied that Brent was the father. It wasn't clear if Misty believed that or if she was just saying it to get Brent's attention, but either way, the rumor got back to him. On the night of July 19th, 2000, Brent was out drinking with friends when one of them told him Misty was telling people she was having his baby. Brent was pissed. At the time, he was engaged to another woman, a fiancée named Michelle Dwyer, and he later said that he was worried that this pregnancy rumor could, quote, ruin his life by blowing up his engagement.
Seems like that would be true.
You know, it's not great.
Putting your wiener in another girl could blow up your engagement, I feel.
It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Brent, maybe be a better person. Fuck you, Brent.
Coming out strong.
Late that night, into the early morning hours of July 20th, 2000, Misty was at home getting ready to go out. Just after midnight, Linda heard her in the bathroom, showering and blow-drying her hair. Misty said that she was going to meet up with friends. Before she left, she stopped and asked her mom how she looked, just like a normal mother-daughter moment. While they were talking, Misty's cell phone rang twice, close together, and Linda heard her take 2 short calls. Investigators later said that those calls came in at 1:58 a.m. and 2:23 a.m. After the second call, Misty told Linda, quote, "I'll see you in the morning," and she left. Around 3 a.m., Linda left for work, expecting that Misty would be home when she got back. Or like even like later in the day, you know what I mean? But she would be home. She would see her tomorrow.
And I don't care how old you are. Your 22-year-old daughter leaving the house to go out at 2:30 in the morning makes you a little nervous, right? I don't know where she's going. Nothing good happens after midnight. Good rule to follow.
Well, but until when? Because now Misty's also leaving for work, or Linda's leaving for work at 3 a.m. The hell's going on there too? She's up early.
Yeah, what was her job? She a nurse or something like that?
That's what I assumed. It was something.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like the late hours maybe are not quite the same to them because 40 minutes later, she's going off to work.
Yeah. Well, going to work's one thing, but going on and hanging out. But yeah, all right. People don't keep the same schedules as us folk. In bed by 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
When I say us folk, I mean me.
Yeah, that's you, pal. I'm not quite on their level with the 3 a.m., but maybe I'll meet you guys in the middle and say midnight.
Then if I stay up late, the whole next day I'm dying. Like I was up till 1 something Saturday night, but then I woke up at 6 a.m. on Sunday. It doesn't matter. I get up the same time, regardless what time I go to bed. Sucks.
Yeah. I do not have a problem sleeping in when I'm able to.
Yeah. I wish I could, man.
Yeah, I now have started waking up just at the same time. Like I can't really sleep in anymore. I wake up like the school alarm's going off.
Awful.
Yeah. Misty didn't come home the morning of July 20th. At first, nobody was immediately freaking out. Like you said, Dave, she's 22, and it's not unheard of for her to crash with friends or, be hard to reach for maybe a day. But that Thursday, Bobby kept calling her cell phone and couldn't get a hold of her. By Friday, July 21st, Linda was calling too, and Misty still wasn't answering. So now we're getting into like that not normal territory. Then on Sunday, July 23rd, a man on Merritt Island saw something floating near the mangroves in the Indian River Lagoon behind his house. At first, he thought it was a dead manatee. Then he looked closer and realized it was a body. He called the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and deputies and crime scene investigators went out there and recovered the body from the water. It was a young woman, decomposed and partially clothed, floating face down near the shoreline.
For geographical context, this is across the water from Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach, that area. If you don't know where Merritt Island is.
So, like, where's that, though? Like, is that down?
Like the east coast of Florida and about an hour east of Orlando.
Okay.
On the water there where they, Cape Canaveral, where they do the SpaceX launches, the space centers there. Which is really cool. I was in Cocoa Beach one time sitting on the balcony watching a SpaceX launch. It is really cool when you see it in person like that.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Her hands and feet were tied together with a white rope that had red strands woven through it in a distinctive double diamond pattern, and her limbs were cinched in a hog-tie position. White duct tape had been wrapped around her head, and it was like wrapped around her mouth and her eyes. 2 torn public shopping bags were attached to her ankles with a length of black rubbery cord. The way it was set up, it looked like whoever did this tried to weigh her down with something inside those bags so they'd sink and stay down, but the bags ripped open and it didn't work, and the body came back up.
So that doesn't seem like a good plan, tying bags full of stuff around someone's ankles to weigh them down. That seems like a hastily made plan when you're freaking out and did something you shouldn't have done, right?
Yeah, definitely the plastic shopping bags. Like, you'd have to double up so many of those.
Yeah, that's a panic plan. Someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Grabbing just what's in sight.
Yeah.
And that rope is like that. That's that rope that's like super shitty. You know what I mean? Like, it can fall apart real easy. That diamond pattern kind of rope.
Twine.
Yeah, kind of.
Cheap stuff.
But like the boating kind. You know what I mean? Like, it's really tough, but it also like frays and shit.
Leaves pieces behind, perhaps.
Brevard County Sheriff's Agent Gary Harrell and other investigators were very interested in the knots used in the rope. Investigators identified a cow hitch knot, and they noted that this isn't the kind of knot most people know. Like, it's something that you learn in maritime settings, including the United States Coast Guard. So that had them thinking whoever did this probably had some kind of boating or military background.
Yeah, knots are a tricky thing. A lot of people don't know those fancy knots. The only knot I can master is the balloon knot, but that's something you need to take your time with and ease into. It takes a lot of practice. A lot can go wrong when you're working with balloon knots. You don't know what you're doing.
Dangerous game.
Yeah.
That is true, though. Like, if I was tying something, like if I was trying to weigh down something and tied a knot, I would tie a fucking absurd, stupid looking knot. You know what I mean? I wouldn't come up with a cow hitch knot.
Yeah. Well, we've determined the person tied this knot was an imbecile. That was me.
It's like fucking bunny ear knots, then some other random shit pulled in there.
Like from a guy that learned to tie his shoes in Gould. That kind of knot.
Could be the guy that, like, as the body's sitting there just like floating next to you, you're on YouTube learning how to tie a knot. Like, put the loop through this hole and then wrap it around twice.
He's starting over like 4 or 5.
Yeah, right.
He's like, God damn it, pause. Back 30 seconds.
Fucking drop your phone. You got to pick it back up.
Go get some rice. Put your phone in rice for 3 hours. Wait it out.
All that.
Regarding that black rubbery stuff that was used to hold the Publix bags to her, it was window screen spline, like that flexible rubber cord that's used to hold screens in their frames. So technicians collected all of this stuff, the duct tape, the rope, the spline, along with anything else they could find, and sent it all off for testing.
So it sounds just like a bunch of stuff that you could quickly find in your garage when you're in a hurry.
Yeah. And especially if you were like in the world of boats.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in that world.
Mm-mm. No, I wouldn't know how to tie a cow. I don't even remember what I said it was.
Cow hitch.
A cow hitch.
Well, you should learn, fella.
I'm going to look it up real quick. Let's see what this actually looks like.
All right. People I've talked to in Ohio that have boats say the best day of their life was the day they bought their boat, and the second best day of their life was the day they sold their boat. Seems like a lot of work to own a boat up here.
I've heard that from people with boats everywhere, not just Ohio.
Yeah.
This cow hitch looks like a fairly simple knot, relatively speaking.
But it's not common.
Yeah.
Somebody wouldn't do that.
Or is this like one of those simple
instinct?
Is this one of those simple things you learn in like the Boy Scouts?
Yeah, I don't know. You're still looking at somebody that is familiar with the outdoors to some degree, right?
Yeah, because I couldn't just do this.
Right. Like I said, my knot would be absurd.
Yeah. I just tie it like I tie shoes and I just move on.
Right. And it's something you wouldn't think about. This is the kind of knots you know how to do, and you're not thinking someone's going to identify me based on this ridiculous knot that most people don't know how to do. You probably just instinct. You just do it.
Yeah. If they ask me, I'll kayfabe and say, oh, I don't know how to tie that knot.
Yeah.
And then if they say, well, prove it, show us, I would just fuck up. It's very simple.
Prove it.
I would have beat this crime.
It's like when Amazon asks you for proof it wasn't delivered and you send them a picture of nothing in your hand.
Exactly.
Because of the condition of the remains, like she had been in the water for a couple of days, they couldn't identify her at the scene. There was no purse, wallet, or any obvious ID with the body. At the autopsy, the medical examiner determined that the victim was a female in her late teens or 20s. Because of the decomposition, like we said, in the water, he couldn't pin down an exact time of death and could only give a range from the early morning of July 20th to about a day or so before the body was found. The cause of death was also tough to nail down. There were no obvious gunshot wounds, no stab wounds, no broken bones. The internal organs were badly decomposed, so there was nothing there. They were able to get toxicology, which that didn't show that there was any drugs or anything like that in her system. The tape on her face pointed to a couple of possibilities. It could have been used to block her nose and mouth to suffocate her, which that's terrible. Thinking about having duct tape put around your head.
Oh, yeah.
Or it could have been used to keep her quiet and she drowned after she was put into the water while restrained. There was no water in her lungs to definitively prove drowning. And the decomposition really fucked with this a lot. As we go through the story, we'll see that it gets into kind of a debate on the cause of death. Because there was no classic signs of strangulation. There were no ligature marks on the throat. But the soft tissue in the neck was degraded enough that it was hard to roll things in or out cleanly. In the end, he listed the cause of death as probable asphyxiation, either from suffocation from the tape or drowning, and ruled the manner of death a homicide.
Chun chun.
As technicians processed Misty, they removed and preserved the duct tape. In the adhesive and also caught in the knots of the rope, they found short black hairs that didn't look like human hair. Misty's hair was reddish, like a reddish auburn, and longer, while these were coarse black pet hairs. Investigators treated that as transfer evidence. Whoever handled the tape and rope might have had a black-haired dog, cat, or maybe they spent time around one. In 2000, there wasn't a quick way to match dog hair to a specific dog like that, but they collected the hairs and held on to them for possible testing later on.
Wow. What a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Good on them. Are they sure it wasn't pubic hair?
They seem sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe these officers knew their way around male genitalia.
The next step was figuring out who she was. Investigators noticed that she had a ring with the letter M on it, but obviously that's not enough. In a degloving process, the medical examiner removed the outer skin from one of her hands and used it to get usable prints. Those prints were ran through law enforcement databases and came back to Misty. Her fingerprints were on file from a prior misdemeanor arrest. And once that match came back, investigators had a name. Up until that point, she hadn't been officially reported missing. So police, once they got her ID, they reached out to Bob and Linda, and that's how they found out where Misty was.
Oh, God.
Once they knew it was Misty, investigators started rebuilding her last known movements and looking at the people around her. They interviewed Linda, and she walked them through the early hours of July 20th with Misty getting ready, the phone calls, and her leaving the house after midnight. That gave them a basic timeline, that Misty was alive and seemed fine when she left, and she was expected to be back in the morning. She wasn't acting like somebody who was, would be taking off. She told them that she'd see Linda the next morning, and she also had told Bobby Cooper that she'd see him the next day. From there, investigators looked at the guys in Misty's immediate dating orbit. The people who would have a reason to be in contact with her at that hour of the night and she would be willing to go hang out with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So the two names that kept coming up initially was Teddy Underwood and Bobby. Teddy Underwood was described in some accounts as Misty's boyfriend in the weeks before she disappeared. In a later TV documentary that it has interviews with sheriff's investigators, detectives said Misty and Teddy had been dating for about 2 months, and they said Teddy described it as casual. In that account, detectives said Teddy told them he wasn't with Misty during that window when she could have been taken or killed, and said that he was at work that night. They checked out his alibi and cleared him. Bobby Cooper came up as a more recent romantic interest. In later televised accounts, investigators described Bobby as someone that Misty had recently met socially and saw from time to time, and people around them said that Bobby wanted something more serious than Misty did. Detectives questioned Bobby about what he knew, where he was during, those key hours. In that same account, investigators said Bobby told them that he was at his parents' house the night Misty disappeared.
What? You got a lead, Mike?
No.
You saw the case?
Not yet. I'll let you know.
Bobby gets a little bit more attention drawn to him because he had Misty's driver's license.
I have audio of when he...
Oh, no.
when he heard the news and he found her ID in his pocket.
Yeah, that was like the echo of his bedroom walls and shit.
Yeah.
Investigators said that didn't line up with what Linda believed, that Misty left home that night with her ID. So they kind of had to slow down and sort out who had what exactly. Bobby later testified that a few days earlier, he and Misty had gone out and she asked him to hold on to her ID because she didn't have pockets or she didn't want it in her pockets or whatever. He said he realized the next day that he still had it, called her to give it back, and she told him to just hang on to it because they were going to see each other again soon. Bobby said he also tried calling her over and over again on July 20th into the 21st and couldn't get a hold of her.
Misty is a lot like me. I will do anything to avoid having things in my pockets. So if you're around me, you might end up holding some of my stuff. Just saying.
Just passing your burden on to other people, huh?
Yeah. Well, I want to be free. I don't want to be all bundled up in my pantaloons.
I hate carrying stuff too. 100%.
It's the worst.
Awful.
I have a money clip that can stuff some cash in and my phone. And that's it. That's all I need. And I'm certainly not driving anywhere. I'll let people do that for me. So that's all I need. Minimal bulge in my pants, except for where it counts, is what I always say. That might be the name of my autobiography one day.
Minimal bulge, comma, except where it counts.
Yeah. No, minimal bulge in my pants, comma, except where it counts. I want it to be the wordiest autobiography possible. There's not even a photo on the front because there's no room with just all the words for the name.
Forward by Declan.
Yeah. Well, if he can learn to use crayons to draw words.
So both of these guys, their alibis check out. And at the same time, police are looking at the crime scene like, okay, what all is this going to require? Because some of this stuff is very specific. Like these are specific items, right? Based on the rope, they're thinking it's someone comfortable with rope work, someone with access to the water, someone who could dump a body into the river. None of these other guys that she was dating had any experience with stuff like that.
And they had alibis. Right?
Yeah.
They checked out.
At the same time, investigators reviewed Misty's phone records and saw that her last incoming calls in the early hours of July 20th came from Brent. So now he is at the very top of the list. He was an ex-boyfriend. Like we said before, he had Navy experience. He worked as a charter fishing boat captain.
The stories I read said he was a Navy SEAL.
Oh, okay.
So that's a lot of Navy experience.
Jesse Ventura was also a Navy SEAL.
That's true, right?
I'd like to throw that out there. If I didn't tell you, he sure would.
He sticks to the Navy SEAL code of not wearing underpants, from what I recall.
Is that for real?
I saw an interview with Jesse saying that one time. Yeah.
That makes total sense. I need to go back and find his conspiracy theory show. Remember he did like 2 seasons of that?
Yeah.
He was all angry and aggressive. If anybody on his staff disagreed with him, he'd fire him right there like on the spot. Just mock and ridicule them. I wonder if anyone has that streaming.
His book was pretty good.
He's got a few of them. Which one did you read? Like, was it a conspiracy book or?
Yeah, it was like a mashup, but he has a really good section on Jonestown conspiracies. Yeah, like a really, really good section on it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever do an episode on that on his show?
I don't know. But yeah, he's got some good information in there.
He's a super smart guy with a lot of really good sense and ideas. I feel like we've talked about him recently.
We did talk about him. It was funny how he was brought up, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Oh, we talked about him, how he said it might have been on Patreon, how he wants to run for Senate.
Oh,
so,
we were talking about living off the grid, and you said, oh, you know who else lives off the grid?
That's what started. Yes, he'll tell you all about that too. He lives off the grid. What was I saying?
His show.
Yeah, I don't know what that was a lost thought.
Happens.
Yeah. Well, leave this all in. I'll remember later and we'll get back to it. It's the first time this has ever happened. Mike lost a thought.
Brent also had family on Merritt Island. That's not far from where Misty's body was found. And then there is the dog hair. Brent had a big black dog, a Rottweiler German Shepherd mix named Chiba. And some accounts said Misty had given the dog to him back when they were together, like as a gift. About a week after Misty's body was found on July 26th, investigators went to talk to Brent in person.
Safe to say that as a charter fishing boat captain and an ex-Navy SEAL, he can probably tie some knots, right?
Yeah.
He's probably tied a knot or two.
Probably so.
He's not tying that gold knot that I'm coming up with.
Maybe some balloon knots too, but definitely cow hitch knots.
When detectives went to Brent's place, he was splitting his time between his home in Melbourne and his parents' house on South Merritt Island. Chiba was there running around, the dog, and Brent agreed to talk. In the tape statement, he went through his history with Misty. He said they had dated about a year and a half earlier and that it ended bad. He said that Misty slept with his roommate, and that's why they broke up. He said that they stayed friends anyway and admitted that they still slept together sometimes. He said the last time that they had sex was on July 11th, so that's 9 days before Misty disappeared.
I do remember what I was going to say about Jesse Ventura, but I can wait until we get to a more appropriate part if you'd like. Because it was nothing big. But since we left it in earlier, I just wanted to acknowledge I remember.
Go ahead and do it. I want to hear it.
Oh, I was going to say, like, he's got a lot of good ideas. He's a really smart guy. Sometimes I think he still gets lost in the professional wrestler, showman, entertainer aspect of things. And that kind of dilutes his actual message. But overall, like, I think he's a good guy. He's a smart guy.
Agree.
That's all. That probably the juice wasn't worth the squeeze on that one. Sorry, people. But that's what I was trying to say before. And then we got sidetracked.
Here's the thing about Brent, this next line that I'm going to read here about the pregnancy stuff. You can't be mad about these pregnancy things. I mean, you can, I guess. But you're also still having sex with her. So right. You should, like, I don't know. You can't have it both ways, right? Like,
I agree.
I mean, she shouldn't be making up rumors. But at the same time, you probably shouldn't be hooking up with her and then get mad about it. I don't know.
Keep it in your pants, buddy. That's what I say. I say that to myself in the mirror every Friday night at the bar. I'm in the bathroom looking at myself. Scolding myself.
Scolding myself.
You're bad. You're a bad Mike Namapod.
No, I fucking look in the mirror and say, keep it in your pants, buddy. Smarten up.
10 seconds later.
All of a sudden, I'm sucking dick in the bathroom.
Well, you know.
Holes is holes. Even mine.
So Brent said that he acknowledged the pregnancy rumor and said that it pissed him off. He told detectives he had heard Misty was telling people that the baby was his. He said he didn't believe it and said that he had seen Misty not long before and said that she didn't look pregnant to him. He said that he was engaged to Michelle and didn't want any of the drama. That's what I'm talking about. Like, okay, you don't want the drama, but you're also having sex with her fucking 9 days earlier.
Right. If the pregnancy thing could have been explained to your fiance, like that was, 3-4 months ago. You're putting your dick in her last week, pal. The pregnancy thing should be the least of your worry.
Also, and spoiler alert, anyone who ever has said, I don't want drama, I don't like drama, 100% thrives on drama.
I will agree with that, sir.
Brent admitted that on the night of July 19th into the early morning of July 20th, after hearing the rumor, he called Misty. He described it as confrontational. Quote, I asked her what the hell was going on. He said he demanded that she stop telling people that she was pregnant. He said the call was brief and that Misty brushed it off and denied saying it.
So, did she say, pregnancy rumors aside, you just fucked me last week. So what's going on with your engagement?
Yeah.
Asshole.
Then Brent laid out his timeline. He said that after the call, he went home and went to bed, putting himself at home around 2:30 a.m. on July 20th, and saying that he didn't go anywhere after that. He also gave an account for the days after. He said that on the evening of July 21st, he met up with Michelle and that she stayed with him through the weekend until Monday morning, July 24th. That covered the days after Misty disappeared, but it didn't cover the early morning window when she left her house and was last known be alive. Detectives later said Brent didn't show much concern when he talked about Misty, and he was mostly focused on how the pregnancy rumor affected him. That was their initial takeaway from this conversation.
It's a clue, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Even if you don't care, fake a little bit so you try to lower the level of suspicion on you.
Like, the pregnancy rumor should ruin everything for him. You know what I mean?
Like, you mean in his life?
Yeah, because he's fucking over his future wife, his fiance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he deserves to have So any complaint that he has is irrelevant. So
Yeah. You're just kind of a scumbag no matter what.
yeah.
Yeah, like if he hadn't had sex with her in a year and she was talking about these pregnancy rumors, sure, but he had sex with her last week, pal.
Yeah.
That's what you're upset about? Yep, I agree.
And her ID in his pocket, right? This was the ID guy.
No, that was the other kid.
Oh,
That was Bobby Cooper.
sorry. That was a whole Jesse Ventura conversation ago.
Yeah, he was just holding on to the ID because she didn't want it in her pocket.
That's
she
right.
Told him.
That's right.
You need to hear the clip again?
Oh no.
That was from his bedroom.
That's right.
As the interview went on, investigators told Brent that Misty was dead and that her body had been found in the Indian River. Brent said that he already knew and said that a friend had told him on July 24th. Investigators didn't give him all the details. They said that she had been found in the river, but they didn't tell him that she was bound or that duct tape was involved. Toward the end, they gave him an opening and said that if Brent had anything to do with it, this is your time to explain it, like that kind of classic thing. And Brent said that he didn't. Afterward, while Brent was in the back of a detective's car, like they were taking him home, an investigator gave him another opening to explain himself, like if he was involved. And Brent said, quote, "You can't explain a woman tied up and thrown in the river." Then he paused and added, quote, "My position is I didn't do it." Investigators locked onto that first line because they didn't tell him Misty had been tied up. When they asked him why he said it that way, Brent didn't give a clear explanation and went back to saying that he didn't do it.
It's not a normal reaction or explanation for someone that you were having sex with last week that was found murdered a couple days ago.
No, it's a really fucking weird answer.
Mm-hmm.
And he outed himself with the whole tied up thing.
That's got to be a really good feeling when you're a detective. When that happens, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of that clip that's viral right now of the John Hamm in the club, where it's like, ooh, they're just all fucking on cloud nine.
I've seen it. That's a good show, actually.
I don't even know what the show is. I just know the clip.
Yeah.
I like John Hamm though.
Yeah. It's what is it called? Your Friends and Neighbors. And he's like a rich guy who loses his job and starts breaking in and stealing all his rich neighbors' stuff. It's a really good show, actually.
What's the Mad Men, right? Was the show?
Mm-hmm.
That's been on my short list for a while to watch and just
Never
haven't pulled
saw
the
it.
trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that I'm always told that I need to watch,
Yeah.
and I never do watch it.
It's a lot of smoking. You're going to be wanting some Camel Blues when you watch that show, pal.
What's different than any other hour of my life? What's funny is I've never been a smoker nor addicted to cigarettes. And I've like worked myself into a shoot on being addicted to cigarettes because I just want one all the time. I don't do it. I haven't had a cigarette in probably a year, but doesn't mean I can't taste it.
If I make it to like 75 years old, fairly healthy, I'm going to start smoking 2 packs a day again.
I think you should start that now, man.
No, that's a little early for that.
Still early?
Come
Or,
on.
yeah.
Come
Not right
on.
now. Come on, pal.
You got plenty of time. You're healthy as an ox.
Also, Brent, don't talk to fucking police. You broke the number 1 rule. Dumb fuck.
He just wants to make sure he can cover up this whole pregnancy thing.
Yeah,
That's all he was worried about.
that's it. You're right.
After that, investigators asked for consent to search his places. Brent agreed and signed a consent form for both his home and his parents' house, where he stayed sometimes.
Jesus, Brent, what are you doing?
I'm sure his parents loved him just signing off on that for them.
Well, if it's their house, I don't know how he can sign consent for someone else's property, but
I don't know if it was something where they could just look at his part of the house, or I don't know.
there's only one response for that request, and that response is one word: lawyer. That is the only thing that should come out of your mouth. Lawyer.
Can you imagine being the parents and you own this home and then these police just barge in like, oh, your son signed off on it.
You're right.
Like, No, motherfuckers. He doesn't own the house.
During the search of Brent's bedroom, detectives found a partial roll of white duct tape. It looked similar in color. I think I said this earlier. I can't remember if I did or not, but the duct tape that was found that was wrapped around her head was white. I think I said it, but hopefully I did. So they find a partial roll of white duct tape. It looked similar to the width that the tape, the one that was wrapped around Misty's face. Duct tape is common, but white duct tape is less common than standard gray
I would agree with
duct
that.
tape.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not even sure I've seen white duct tape before.
You have to go out of your way to find it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think I have some pink duct tape in my garage. I'm not going to, that especially stands out, so I'm not going to kill anyone with it.
I'd like to know why you have pink duct tape in your garage.
Don't worry about
You can ask for your lawyer, Dave?
it. Lawyer. A statement will not be forthcoming.
In the kitchen, under the sink, investigators found a stack of Publix grocery bags. These were the beige tan Publix Baby Club bags, the same kind of torn bags that were tied to Misty's ankles. At one point, an officer showed another team member a bag and a piece of the tape, and an investigator said Brent was watching. That investigator later testified, quote, Mr. Huck's mouth dropped open.
Oh, no. To be fair, probably 80% of the households in that area have Publix bags from shopping, so I don't know.
The white duct tape is harder evidence than the Publix bags. I agree. That'd be like going into anyone's bag in Medina and getting like a Target bag and being like, oh, got you. We all fucking go to Target. Relax about it.
Man, I love Publix. I wish we had one of those.
I don't know if I've been to a Publix. Maybe I have.
They got an awesome sandwich counter. All kinds of stuff.
Hear
It's
about
phenomenal.
I always hear about the chicken strip.
Chicken tender sandwich.
Yeah. I've been really on wanting a meatball sub recently. I got to go find one. I haven't had one in 4 months. I'm starting to shake.
Who's got a good meatball sub around here?
No one.
Yeah,
Really.
not around here.
If you just need to get over the hump, you can go to Subway. It's not horrible. It's the only reason why I would ever go to Subway, but it's not the authentic.
At his parents' house on Merritt Island, investigators searched the garage and saw a length of black rubber spline cord, the stuff used for window screens. One end looked freshly cut, like a short piece had been taken off. Since the Publix bags on Misty were attached with a similar black cord, they took that for evidence, or for comparison. Investigators also looked at Brent's boat, which he kept at his parents' place. On the deck and near the seats, they found strands of long hair that looked light brown or auburn, and they collected them for lab testing. They also noticed the white all-around navigation light at the stern was broken off, missing the top section. Investigators looked at the height of the break and considered whether it lined up with hitting something like a low bridge. Brent said the damage was old and claimed that he broke it a couple months earlier while taking the boat under the Mathers Bridge after a night at the bar.
Drunkard.
A lot of evidence, right? But so far circumstantial.
Yeah. So what do you think? He got her out of the house, said, hey, let's talk, let's fuck, whatever, let's go on the boat, and then probably got in a fight. Maybe he knocked her out or something, panicked, tied her up, put the duct tape around her, ran in the house to get all that stuff. Something like that.
The hogtie leads me to believe that she was still alive when all of this happened. You wouldn't hogtie a dead person.
No. But maybe she was just knocked out. I think that's what you had said, Dave. And then he just decided to tie her up, tape her up, and throw her over.
If you hogtie, you can't be kicking around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Making noise.
Yeah, you're done for if that's happening. And especially if there's tape all around your mouth, you're not breathing at all or properly. So it's just going to add to a quicker death, I suppose.
Who knows? The death may have been an accident. Maybe he did tape her mouth or something. He did something. He was trying to figure out what to do, and maybe that killed her unintentionally. Even maybe a bear came along, and
it has not been ruled out yet in my mind. I'm still not sure about this one. It could have been a bear. Bears are known for their tape work and their nodding.
And their presence in southern Florida.
Yeah. No, he was a well-traveled bear.
On the duct tape, an analyst compared the white duct tape taken from Brent's place to the tape removed from Misty. Under a microscope, the analyst said that the backing, the fibers, and the adhesive, the structure of the tape matched. The conclusion was that the tape was, quote, analytically indistinguishable, meaning the testing didn't show any meaningful differences between the sample. The analyst also couldn't say that it came from the exact roll, but said it was consistent with the same type and grade of tape from the same manufacturer.
That is a fancy term to tell a jury to convince them of something that doesn't really mean anything. I bet every roll of duct tape off the assembly line that whole year is analytically indistinguishable from another roll.
Yeah, this case is a lot of debate on circumstantial, or in reasonable doubt, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, circumstantial evidence is evidence just like any other piece of evidence, but, yeah, I get your point.
But yeah, I feel like as we go through all this evidence, it's a whole lot of like, yeah, I know, but we know. Like, that is the same fucking duct tape. You can't say for sure it is, but we know for sure it is. Regarding the black spline cord, an expert compared the piece taken from the garage to the spline used to attach the Publix bags to Misty's ankles. Based on the composition and the manufacturing characteristics, the expert said that they were made by the same manufacturer at the same factory and were consistent with the same production source. So that one's more, they were able to narrow that one down a little more. Investigators also dug into the Publix Baby Club bags. They learned that those bags were part of a special run, that there were about 3 million made and distributed during the summer of 2000. The bags had small coded markings that could be traced back to when and where they were produced. Investigators said the bags from Brent's kitchen and the torn bags found on Misty had matching codes, putting them in the same batch, tied to the same production lane and operator in a run traced to June 2000. But like you said, Mike, like, all right, one of you guys said it, how many people in that surrounding area use those bags after they shop there?
Yeah. I think Dave said that, but it's true. Like, we all go to the same stores, the same days, the same times. So
yeah, Publix isn't buying, 1,000 bags at a time. They're buying 1 million bags at a time. So every bag in how many month time frame that whole geographical area is going to match? That's not really proof.
It's circumstantial as fuck. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It
I would
is.
say if you collect all the bags on Merritt Island, I bet 80% of them would match, though. I who can
The
say
bag's
for
the
sure,
weakest link, for
but
sure.
The bag is the weakest link. I agree. It's just one more piece of the puzzle.
And the hair evidence is a big part of this case, too. Investigators collected long hairs from Brent's boat and had them tested. Because the hairs didn't have roots, they couldn't do standard nuclear DNA testing, so the lab used mitochondrial DNA testing instead. Mitochondrial DNA is passed down through the maternal line, so it can't point to one person the way nuclear DNA can, but it can show whether the hair is consistent with a specific person or people who share that maternal line. 2 hairs were tested, one about 33 centimeters long, the other about 15 centimeters, and both produced the same mitochondrial DNA profile. That profile was compared to a known sample from Misty, taken from tissue collected during her autopsy, and it matched Misty's mitochondrial DNA type. Experts also explained the limits. A mitochondrial match isn't as rare as a nuclear DNA match, and the estimate in this case was about 1 in 50 Caucasians could share the same mitochondrial sequence. But the state's arguing more for that it's the context of this is what mattered. The hairs looked like Misty's, and an FBI trace evidence analyst testified that the microscopic characteristics on the boat hairs matched Misty's known hair from her hairbrush. The analyst also noted artificial coloration consistent with a recent dye. Investigators tied that to reports that Misty had colored her hair on July 19th, the day before she disappeared. So when you put it together where the hairs were found, what they looked like, the trace comparison, and the mitochondrial DNA, it's treated as evidence that Misty or her body had been on Brent's boat close to the time she disappeared.
Yeah, I guess the hair dye adds a different element to it. Without that, I would just say, well, yeah, those two were still having sex, so she probably was on his boat. I don't know what this proves.
It's the hair dye that narrows it down a little more.
I don't know how scientific, a recent dye is when you're saying stuff like that. I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't find it all that unusual that a girl with the same kind of hair might be found on your boat. A girl that you were having sex with the week before.
You were stooping her on your boat.
Stooping.
Her hair is going to be around.
I would agree. The hair dye, okay.
Because she dyed her hair on the 19th, and this all took place on the 20th. So that hair dye kind of,
all right.
It makes it pretty narrow.
I guess. I'll buy that. I'll allow it.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. February can certainly be rough. Shorter days, colder weather, and let's not forget all the mushy relationship talk around the 14th. Though it's the shortest month, it can certainly feel like the longest to get through. Especially if you feel like everyone around you has their love lives together and you're feeling stuck and left behind. So this February, whether you're married, dating, or single, try to focus less on the flowers and chocolates and more on finding your way, because improving your mental health will improve all aspects of your life. An imperfect love life is not uncommon. In some way, shape, or form, everyone is still figuring things out and either working to improve the relationship they're in or finding a relationship that best fulfills their life. Therapy can be a great way to strengthen your relationship or even strengthen yourself to help you become the best version of you. BetterHelp has been helping people find their match for over 12 years, having served over 5 million people globally, and has a 4.9 out of 5 rating with 1.7 million client session reviews. If you're looking for quality, BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. After filling out a brief questionnaire, you'll be matched with a therapist that is tailored to fulfill your needs. And it's convenient, too. You can join with a therapist at the click of a button, helping fit therapy into your busy life. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from one of their recommendations. This February, find your way with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/necro. That's betterhelp.com/necro.
Getting to the dog hair, investigators.
Dog.
It's Dave crying in the corner. Nothing's even happened. He just heard the word dog hair.
That's it, dog.
So all those hairs that were taken from the adhesive side of the duct tape from Misty and the rope from the knots. At first, they really couldn't do much with it. They could only do a microscopic comparison. An FBI analyst compared those hairs to a known sample of Chiba, their dog, and said that they were consistent in appearance under the microscope. But I mean, that's really that really means nothing. You know, you could probably compare that hair to any shepherd mix, you know what I mean, and get a similar thing under a microscope.
Yeah, that's not really evidence.
Later, investigators went back and got DNA testing done on the dog hair after, technology advanced a bit. A lab did mitochondrial DNA testing on the hairs from the tape and compared the mitochondrial sequence to Chiba's hair sample. The lab reported a match to Chiba's mitochondrial DNA type. And just like with mitochondrial DNA testing in humans, the experts explained the limits. Mitochondrial DNA doesn't get specific like nuclear DNA does. And, it's the same thing with dogs as it is with people.
Dave, if you were the defense attorney and they came into the courtroom with dog hair, what would you do?
Get the fuck out of here.
You
I
would get the
object.
fuck out of there? Or
I would
you
object
you would
heavily.
Your Honor, I heavily object. Half-empty bottle of Crown Royal in front of you on the desk.
I don't allow this type of evidence in my courtroom.
The judge is like, whose courtroom, motherfucker?
Yeah, my courtroom.
He just leaving cuffs. Contempt.
I'm out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order.
By the fall of 2002, investigators and prosecutors had built their case out of all those links, the tape, bags, spline cord, hair evidence, plus the timing of their relationship history, and said that everything pointed back to Brent. Still extremely circumstantial. There's not one piece of evidence that shows him committing the murder. They took their time before making an arrest, and part of that seems to be waiting for more lab work, like technology to advance with stuff like the dog hair testing. So between 2000 and 2002, Brent stayed out of custody while all of this investigating was going on.
So that's 2 years. This was a scenario, I was reading a little bit about this, where, the family's impatient. Why aren't you arresting anyone? Like the mom wrote letters to Florida Today and things like that, trying to get the case moving and stuff like that. So I saw a quote even from one of the cops is like, we know who did it. We just can't prove it, kind of thing. So
Right. You don't want to jump the gun and then blow the case.
mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you understand the family's persistence. Like, hey, we know who did it. Let's fucking get this over with.
That's right.
In October 2002, prosecutors took the case to a grand jury. The grand jury indicted Brent for first-degree murder and kidnapping in connection with Misty's death. On October 23, 2002, more than 2 years after Misty disappeared, Brent surrendered at the Brevard County Jail after it was coordinated through his attorney. He was booked on felony murder tied to kidnapping, along with that separate kidnapping count. Bail was denied, and he stayed there until as everything moved forward to trial.
I was also reading there was a little bit of the angle to this where, Misty's family was more like a poorer family and Brent's family was wealthy. So they're kind of playing that angle into it, I think, a little bit.
Why he was able to stay out this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, you said he finally surrendered. It was coordinated through his attorney. Did they work out some kind of deal, or was it just the attorney got to him and said, hey, you probably need to turn yourself in?
It was just like a coordinated thing between the attorney and the
So it wasn't
state.
Oh, if he surrenders himself, will be granted bail or something like that. Or, clearly he wasn't, but I just didn't know if that meant anything more.
It's like we won't kick down your parents' door if we arrange for a surrender thing. And poor people don't get to arrange with their attorney when they're going to turn themselves into police. So there you go.
They certainly don't, which is why I was wondering what this meant.
Exactly.
What was the extra privilege here?
That's rich people speak.
That is absolutely rich people speak.
You come
I
to
arranged with my attorney to turn myself in. Oh, do you? Is that how it works? Fuck boy.
I've never had to turn myself in, but probably later this year after I get a tattoo, I'm sure there'll be a lot of police wanting me for various crimes I've committed. So we'll see how that works, if I get the privilege or not.
Let's do like 5 OTs next week and kickstart that. Where are we at? What number are we at, pal? Any
I don't
idea?
know. I really don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
5 or 450 something.
Yeah.
All right, so like one more year, 52 episodes. I'm going to do everything I can to punt this to 2027. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get really sick, and we're going to skip 4 weeks of shows.
This is 458 today.
Yeah, 458. Man, we're getting up there.
All right. No. I'm going to start taking a lot of delay of game penalties.
It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
What an awful song, by the way.
Virgin skin, about to get fucking inked up. You get your cock pierced on the same day. Just go full bore.
Maybe I'll do that.
Oh man, that just like makes my like kind of stomach feel weird thinking about how bad that would hurt. Fuck. Piercings hurt so bad.
I don't like where this conversation's heading.
I feel like Ben Stiller and something about Mary when he zips up his wiener in the bathroom. Probably feels like that. Like you see wiener skin on the top of the zipper and you can't unzip it because the skin's through the zipper.
Oh, God, that's so fucking bad.
Oh no! Oh no! No, 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 no.
I would just lay down and die.
Oh, I don't even know what you do. Oh. All right, we got to move on.
You've been going with this, man. Come on. What are we doing here? Now we're all just gagging and sore.
The trial against Brent took place in early 2003. Prosecutors told the jury their story. Started with Brent getting angry over the pregnancy rumor. In the state's version, Brent called Misty in the early hours of July 20th, 2000, and got her to step out of the house after midnight to meet him, under the idea of talking things out. They argued that once Misty came out, Brent attacked her, restrained her with rope, and tied her wrist and ankles. So that's the state framing everything as a kidnapping. That's where that kidnapping charge is coming from. They emphasized the distinctive rope and the knot and argued that it fit the kind of maritime training that Brent would have known. They talked about how the duct tape was wrapped around her head and how the medical examiner couldn't say whether or not that she suffocated or that she had drowned. Either way, it didn't matter. Brent meant to kill Misty. Like what he was doing to her was going to kill her, and he did.
We confirmed the phone call was from him, right? Like that's not disputed, right?
Right, he called her.
Yeah.
He admitted to calling her. Yeah. He admitted that on the first talk before he had a lawyer or anything.
Yeah.
But his thing is that he wasn't there. Like he called her to like say what the fuck, but he never wanted her to go out with him, or he didn't lure her out of the house.
Well, none of her other friends were with her, and all the other guys she was hanging out with had alibis, and they weren't with her. So if she wasn't with him, where the fuck was she?
Yeah.
Just go out, get a slice of pizza at 3 a.m. by herself.
I wish I could go out at 3 a.m. and get a slice of pizza around here.
Yeah, you can go to Speedway. That's about it.
Even then, they're not going to have fucking pizza ready to go, though. Is the problem that I have with that Speedway is that they don't have food ready unless it's actually lunchtime. Alas.
Yeah, you can barely go out at 9 o'clock here and get a slice of pizza.
Ugh.
After that, prosecutors argued that Brent tried to cover it up. The state's theory was that he moved Misty to the Indian River using his boat. His parents' house sat on a canal with access out to the river, and the boat was kept right there, so prosecutors argued it gave him a way to move her body without being seen. From there, prosecutors argued Brent dumped Misty overboard in the river under the cover of darkness, not far from where she later surfaced. They also pointed to a rope fragment recovered near his parents' seawall and said that it fit the idea of him handling rope right there as he was getting ready to dump her. But if the family is actively using a boat all the time, like that rope could be there from months ago.
Yeah. That's not really evidence. That's something to tell to a dopey jury. They're like, oh, okay.
And then they tied the broken navigation light on the boat. They talked about the route of the canal system and Mather's Bridge, a low swing bridge where, depending on the water level, clearance could be tight. Investigators said that the stern light was snapped off at a height that fit striking the underside of a low bridge, and prosecutors argued that damage fit a recent trip that Brent's, quote, months earlier explanation wasn't true.
I'm not sure that that's evidence either, is it? They don't know. You can't definitively say that.
Yeah.
Also, swing bridges are so cool. We got a cool swing bridge downtown.
Yeah, we do.
You ever see that, Ian?
Is that the
Like in the flats where it just swings open to the side?
is that where Shooters is?
It is over, like,
Is that
where you cross the east bank to the west bank to get over to where Shooters is.
No, I don't think so.
It's neat.
I've ate on the water at Shooters a couple times.
Mhm.
That's cool when the bridge
Yeah,
opens
super
up.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's been closed for a bit. MGK was doing some, I think he made a major investment in there, and they're doing some overhauling in there.
At Shooters.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
It was closed last time I was down there.
It became like the mom and dad, like, go drink at 4:00 on a Saturday afternoon type place.
That is true. Our mutual friend, that's probably last time I was there, our mutual friend who likes all the pubic hair, his band played there a few times. I remember we went to see him. I think we all went, right?
I don't remember.
I don't know who went. I know I was there.
I was there with a group of us, and I remember that. Maybe that's why I was there.
Yeah.
Okay. It was years ago, though.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The last time I was there was when I went to the aquarium. And I went over there afterward to eat.
Yep.
That's what I got yelled at for putting my whole fucking arm in the stingray tank.
They were ready to fucking throw your ass out.
Best bar in Cleveland, Harbor Inn's right around the corner there.
That's all right.
To back everything up, prosecutors brought in investigators and a long list of experts. They walked the jury through the physical links they said connected what was found on Misty to what was found around Brent. The rope, the Publix baby club bags, the white duct tape that was, like we said, analytically indistinguishable.
Mm-hmm.
The black cord and all the hair evidence, including the dog hair. Investigators testified about the timeline and Brent's statements, including the, quote, tied up and thrown in the river comment that prosecutors argued showed guilty knowledge. And that's pretty fucking hard to explain, right? Like, I feel like it's still circumstantial. It's not like definitive, but
when you stack it on top of each other for a jury, it's hard to refute. It's the stuff people go for, like, oh my God, yeah, I'm sure he did it. That's why you don't take jury trials. Like stuff like that. Convince a jury.
You taking a Scott Peterson swerve on us here, Dave?
I'm going to save my comments, the full breadth of my comments for later, but I think this is very similar to the kind of evidence that convicted Scott Peterson. Do I think Scott Peterson killed his wife? Probably so. Do I think they had enough to convict him of first-degree murder? I don't think so.
gotta go to patreon.com for that.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget that was Patreon.
3-parter, baby.
Patreon.com/Necronomipod. Chun chun.
The medical examiner also testified and said the decomposition limited what he could say about the exact cause of death. But she was murdered, right? This isn't a natural cause of death. And it's also worth noting that the autopsy showed that Misty was not pregnant. So
She was not pregnant.
she was not. And it's not clear if she maybe just thought she was and told people, or if she was making a rumor. I don't know.
Where was
We don't
Maury
know.
for that?
And it's really irrelevant, really.
I want Maury
end
for
of all
that
of it.
show, though. You are not pregnant.
Jeez.
Maybe not for her. That wouldn't be very entertaining.
No, it would not. Where's Maury? How old's Maury these days?
115, I think.
He's pretty. He's in his 80s now, right?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Does
he
he
retired?
Is he retired?
Yeah, it's a damn shame. I never got to go.
It's a fucking crime. Never
It
got
was
to go.
it was one of my like bucket list.
He's
things to do.
87 years old.
Oof. Was he Chicago, Ian, or was he New York or LA?
Connecticut.
They filmed out of Connecticut?
Yeah.
How
Because
the
it was
fuck
always
did-
like, oh, you can come to whatever studios.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Dude, it would be so funny to go to one of those. Because people in the crowd are just fucking yelling and like high-fiving people, high-fiving the guests and shit.
I like in Jerry that they would like the crowd questions they'd rip on people on stage.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
God,
They want to fight and stuff. It's great.
So when the defense put on its case, they argued that the state hadn't proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Brent did it. Their big point was the lack of direct evidence. There's no eyewitness placing Brent with Misty that night. No confession, no fingerprints tying him to the tape, the bags, or the bindings. They also stressed that investigators didn't find Misty's blood or other bodily fluids in Brent's car or home. All we have is the hair. They also really pushed on the fact that nobody could say exactly how Misty died. The medical examiner couldn't give one definitive cause of death, so the defense argued the state was asking the jury to pick between suffocation and drowning. They said the uncertainty was important because it left room for other explanations.
Did it though?
I know.
No, it really didn't.
They said it was the lack of the sign of a struggle, and they argued that there were no defensive injuries that clearly showed a fight. So they also talked about the ligature marks, that there weren't clear ligature marks on her wrist or ankles, and they argued that if someone was tied up super tight while they were still alive, you'd expect there to be more markings on the skin.
Wouldn't showing no clear signs of a fight indicate that she was probably with someone that was not an attacker and someone she knows, who probably incapacitated her in a setting that was not, like a violent stranger attack?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, maybe lean more towards like him just not being the one that did this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, maybe go that route as opposed to trying to debunk all this. Like, we know how they found her. Clearly, something had occurred to her, but nobody can link him to the direct murder. Maybe lean more into that.
You'd want to cast doubt on Ted. What's his name? Teddy Underwater? Teddy something. Teddy and Bobby.
Underwood.
Teddy Underwater.
Jesus, I thought you were making up a nickname. You meant his actual name. Teddy Underwood. Underwater.
Cast doubt on their alibis and say
That's what I mean.
They were more recent partners of hers and that sort of thing. Clearly she was murdered. I think you might be focusing on the wrong thing here. I agree with that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, focus on it just wasn't him. The Shaggy defense. It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Cast doubt on her other boyfriends. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah, they kind of did that a bit with the boat stuff. They made the argument that once they saw the certain boat rope that was used and shit like that kind of stuff, and then they just got tunnel vision on Brent, and they never paid attention to any other leads after that. It was the defense's argument.
Man, I wish somebody would charge me with a crime based on a rope tying. I'll fucking prove them wrong real quick. I don't even know how to tie a fucking rope, motherfuckers. I can't even tie my damn shoes. How about that? I wear fucking Velcro strap shoes.
If the balloon knot doesn't fit, you must have quit.
That's what I literally have that tattooed on my ankle. Or I will here in a couple episodes.
That'd be a super funny tattoo.
Would it though?
It'd be funny for me. I would laugh about it.
I was gonna say, if it's not on your body, it's pretty hilarious.
My offer for tattoo roulette is still in the air. Anytime you guys want to play.
You guys have right at it. From what I understand, once I get one tattoo, I'm going to become a tattoo junkie, since that's what seems to happen to everybody. We'll see. Doubt it.
The defense tried to kind of shrink the whole pregnancy rumor angle. They argued it wasn't the kind of thing that makes sense to murder somebody over. They said Misty wasn't pregnant when she wasn't. And Brent said he believed that at the time too, that she wasn't. And they argued that Brett was in some desperate spot where a rumor like that would push him to something so extreme. By their accounts, he was happily engaged to Michelle, so why would he do any of this? But I mean, he's hooking up with Misty 9 days beforehand, so.
Yeah. He's so happily engaged, he was calling her twice at 3:00 in the morning on the night she was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because one of you said it earlier, nothing good happens at 3 a.m. No good calls or texts happen at 3 a.m.
They don't. No. Nothing good happens after midnight, pal.
No. If your phone rings at 3 a.m., someone wants to fuck you or someone's trying to tell you someone died.
That's 100% accurate, sir.
So, it's spin the bottle. It might, if you're a single person, that might be a great call. Might also not be a great call.
Yeah. No one's calling me to say they want to fuck at 3 a.m. So if I get that call, it's not good.
Yeah.
Turn the phone off.
If our phones ring at 3 a.m., it's not a good call. It's not a booty call.
No.
It's hey, not. Go dust off your suit call.
The defense also really focused on the fact that Misty left her house willingly, like pushing on the kidnapping charge. She told her mom that she'd see her in the morning and walked out on her own. And the defense argued that that doesn't look like a forced abduction from her house.
No one said it was, right?
Well, they're saying that kidnapping charge, like she left willingly. Like, where'd you actually kidnap her?
Well, I don't think she willingly went to the bottom of the Indian River. So,
yeah. I mean, I definitely think Brent did this, and he's
yeah. He called her twice right before she left the house, and she didn't willingly drown herself. So,
Did he, is the kidnapping charge because he held her, on the boat and took the boat out somewhere?
They're saying because she was restrained, the hog tying stuff happened while she was still alive.
Okay.
Like she was restrained and taken against her will.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There's no need to duct tape someone if they're dead. So she was obviously restrained and taken somewhere against her will. So,
or held somewhere against her will. I guess I kept thinking taken somewhere, but she could have just been held there on the boat.
Right.
A boat that maybe they had fucked on multiple times.
Correct. Stopped. We should start using that word more.
I use it. Though I say stooped, but maybe it's stopped.
I think it's Yiddish. It's like Yiddish German, so it's stopped. Yeah. 999 stopped.
I like the word stopped. Hey, are they stopping? Hey, look at those two over there in the corner. Are they stopping?
Stop.
I don't know. I'm going to fuck it up anytime I say it. If I say any form of that, you know what I fucking mean.
Like stop. I think I'm getting it right. Maybe not.
Stopping.
Stopping.
I don't know. His penis is going inside of her. That's what I mean in the broad sense. And then out, and then in, and then out, and then in. He keeps falling out of her for some reason. I don't know why he keeps falling out of her.
Because you lack depth and girth.
Well, not me. I hope you're not talking to me. Talking about or whatever couple we're discussing is stopping.
I'm going to pull some sound clips from this exchange. There's lots of stupping to pull.
Just all the different ways we've said it and just make it one clip. One of them's got to be right.
Gotta be. Law of averages said so.
All right, back to a very serious murder trial.
Brent didn't testify. Instead, the defense just worked on poking holes in everything. In closing, his defense argued that law enforcement just locked onto him early and got tunnel vision, all because of the boat stuff. But, I mean, the fucking circumstantial links lead you to Brent. You know.
I don't see evidence of any other reasonable leads, right?
Yeah,
From
it's
what
another
I've
one
seen.
like with Casey Anthony. Like, well, where's the killer at?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like who's the other suspect here?
With Brent not testifying, so that was a strategic move by the prosecution as well. I would imagine.
Defense.
So the prosecution didn't call on him to testify?
Like, you just plead the fifth. They don't do that. They can't do that.
They could make him plead the fifth over and over again.
They could.
but
They never do that, though.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, and the jury's not technically allowed to take into account and hold it against you the fact that you're not testifying. I mean, in most murder cases, the smart money doesn't let you testify because it's so easy to mess up, right? Even if you're not guilty, you're gonna look guilty because you're not used to testifying.
Yeah, I mean the prosecution will fucking just pick you apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty shocking, I think, when someone testifies in a murder trial. Like, when you're accused of murder, and you're gonna speak for yourself. Like, it's a pretty bold fucking move.
Who did that? Did Robert Durst testify? Was that a good one? He did, right?
That's maybe that sounds like something he would do. That dude is wild.
Do not remember.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did, I think. Ted Bundy, well, he represented himself. He went a step further. That's when you just know it's fucking stupid, when the person wants to defend themselves.
Well, that's when all shit's just thrown out the window, right? Like, okay, this is going to be a no holds barred, fun little trial. Where's court TV on this one?
A prosecutor cannot call a defendant to testify in their own criminal trial.
Cannot.
Cannot.
Is that a state law?
The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects defendants from being compelled to witness against themselves, meaning the state cannot force a defendant to take the stand, nor can a judge or defense attorney. If you decide, if the defense calls the defendant to testify, then you're opening yourself up to prosecutor cross-examination. But if you decline to testify, the prosecutors cannot compel you to.
Well, it's protected under the Fifth Amendment. Okay. I don't think I realized that it went that far.
If you're not familiar with the Fifth Amendment, just watch Jeffrey Epstein depositions, and he takes it a lot, the Fifth Amendment.
Well, I understand the Fifth Amendment.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people in
You
general.
were talking to me.
No.
I'm like, no, I just didn't realize it was in the Fifth Amendment that a prosecutor cannot.
I was just making an Epstein joke.
Yes. He says a lot of the Fifth Amendment stuff. Bobby Kennedy, when he was, like a counsel for the Senate and all that, he would call people out when they pled the Fifth, when he was questioning like the mob and all that, and all the commissions. If they pled the Fifth, he would openly say they were guilty because they were afraid to answer the questions. He very much did not believe in the Fifth Amendment.
Well,
so there's that.
Fortunately, the framers, signers of the Constitution, did believe in it. And of course, you should never be compelled to testify against yourself. That's absurd. I believe in the Constitution.
It's a very good working document.
It does. It's a living, breathing document.
Yes.
It's still relevant today.
Couple heads wouldn't be so awful.
After both sides rested, the jury had 2 charges to decide on: first-degree felony murder and kidnapping. So the question for them was whether Brent kidnapped Misty against her will and whether she died during that kidnapping. And the way the state framed it, the jury didn't have to agree on one exact mechanism of death like you would in a shooting. The argument was basically she was kidnapped, she was bound, she ended up dead, and the kidnapping was the felony underneath the felony murder charge. On April 1st, 2003, the jury came back with its verdict. They found Brent guilty of kidnapping and guilty of first-degree murder and Misty's death. In Florida, a first-degree murder conviction can mean death or life in prison without parole. In this case, the state didn't seek the death penalty, so the murder sentence was going to be life. And then the kidnapping, on that count, the judge still had room to impose sentencing.
That was probably a smart move by the state to not seek the death penalty. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with something with all these circumstantial things, that would have...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that they're, in Florida, so automatically just your intellectual level is stunted. So it was good for them. They did a good job.
On May 30th, Brent went back to court for sentencing. Misty's family gave victim impact statements, and both parents asked the judge for the maximum. Brent's attorneys argued for leniency on the kidnapping sentence, still saying that he was innocent. When Brent was given a chance to speak, he didn't apologize or admit guilt. He just said that he was still innocent.
Like a famous poet once said, murder was the case that they gave me.
That was,
Who was that poet?
I think it was Shaggy Two Dope from
I don't think it was. But.
greatest rap group of all time.
To get your tickets for the gathering next year? Or this year, rather?
I did not. No, I missed out.
Hmm.
Where is it this year?
I think it's always down in Thornhill here in Ohio.
Okay.
We go this year? Is this the year we pull the trigger and go?
I don't know. It seems muddy and dirty.
Just for
Lack
one
of-
day, maybe?
Lack of showers and parking and electricity and intelligence.
A lot of meth, though,
Mike.
probably, huh?
And probably no shortage of meth and Fago.
You could probably get all kind of fucking weird drugs there.
Yes. Yes.
Could be fun to do one year, and we could just like vlog it and post everything, just like walking around, fucking talking to people.
Right now, I see August 12th through 15th. Dates are unconfirmed. I am out of town that week, so unfortunately, you guys have to let me know how it is.
Wait, how are they selling tickets for dates that are unconfirmed?
I think this is just a festival website. I'm not sure that that's confirmed yet.
But so you don't know for sure they're selling tickets.
No, I don't think they're selling tickets yet.
Okay.
I
Because
don't
that
think
would
the
be ridiculous.
dates-
You're like, oh, buy tickets, but the dates are not yet confirmed.
No, wait, here it is. I got it. Wait, this is something different. Juggalo weekend in Florida, February 27th and 28th in Miami. Insane Clown Posse and Psychopathic Records present Juggalo Weekend 2026.
Is Twisted going to be there? It's the other group that they kind of brought up and mentored. Ian, did you see that Vince Russo now is working for JCW?
No.
Like Juggalo Championship Wrestling? I believe he said that it's going to become like, it's going to get TV and he thinks they're going to be big.
Wow.
And I said, well,
We'll
okay.
see.
Okay, Vince.
I mean, I'd probably watch it depending on, like, I don't know. At least
probably
I would
would,
watch
too.
some clips.
I would too. I would absolutely at least check it out for a few episodes.
I'd watch a match or two for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. So, Dave, you going to Miami in a couple weeks for
Absolutely not.
Juggalo weekend?
That would never happen, no.
Okay. I've been to Miami once. Underwhelmed by that town.
I don't love Miami either. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's okay.
Didn't love it.
It's good tacos. Too hot.
Too hot. Just, I don't know. I didn't get the vibe. the downtown area was just not pleasant, fun. I don't know.
Circuit Judge Dave Dugan sentenced Brent to life in prison on the murder conviction with no possibility of parole. On the kidnapping one, he also gave him a life sentence and ordered the sentences to run concurrently. As the sentence was read, Bob, that's Misty's dad, said, quote, "I hope he lives 1,000 years and remembers every day what he did to Misty."
That's a good quote.
Yeah. He also said that Brent was a, quote, gutless coward because, Brent still refused to accept responsibility.
Of course, his name's Brent.
After trial, Brent appealed, and the case went to the Florida 5th District Court of Appeal. One of his main arguments was the kidnapping charge. His lawyers said that the evidence wasn't enough to prove Misty was taken against her will. Nobody saw her being forced, and they argued the state didn't prove she didn't consent to going with him or what happened afterward. They also leaned on the medical examiner's limits, including the not definitively being able to prove that she was bound when she was alive. Their argument was if kidnapping falls, the felony murder falls with it because the kidnapping is the felony underneath it. But
why would you need to bind someone who was dead? That doesn't make any sense. Fuck out of here with that.
They also challenged trial rulings. One issue involved a recorded phone call between Michelle Dwyer, that's Brent's fiance, and Brent on July 28th, 2000, when investigators had Michelle call him while they recorded it. Brett got suspicious and ended the calls quick. And on one recording, a detective could be heard telling Michelle, quote, "I don't want you to push him too far. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him." The defense argued that was unfairly prejudicial. They also argued some of the forensic evidence should have been handled more cautiously.
So in essence, they got his fiance to wear a wire and call him and record it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. They're like, your boyfriend was fucking this person and while he was engaged to you. You want to wear a wire?
Yeah, Brett didn't have the support. You know what I mean? Like some other wives or partners we've seen.
He seems like a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I pegged him from the first second Ian mentioned his name.
Because it was Brent?
I have my reasons. I plead the fifth. How about that?
Well, I'm not allowed to compel you to testify, so let's just leave it at that.
Good. You're the state now?
Yeah.
Coming at me.
Well.
Yeah, but the power of Christ compels me to testify.
Well, that you can't take the fifth on. When Christ compels you, you gotta fucking do it.
You can't take the fifth on Jesus Christ.
No, sir, you cannot.
In July 2004, the 5th District upheld the convictions and the life sentence. The judges acknowledged that it was a circumstantial case, but they said that it was strong enough under Florida law. They also rejected the kidnapping argument, pointing towards the basic facts that she left expecting to be back, never returned, and her body was later found bound, taped, and weighed down in a river. They said that supported a finding that she was held against her will at some point, and even if she initially went with someone voluntarily, it obviously stopped being voluntary once she was restrained.
Obviously.
Well,
they also said the decomposition could explain why certain marks weren't visible and the lack of marks didn't equal consent. On the other issues, they said none of them were justified in overturning the verdict. After that, Brent tried to get the Florida Supreme Court to take the case, but in late 2004, the court declined, and that ended the direct appeal, and the conviction stood. As of today, he's still incarcerated in the Florida prison system, serving his life sentences. And Misty would have been in her mid to late 40s at this point.
That is where he will stay because not sure he has many more options.
No.
And unfortunately for him, he will miss this Sunday's Daytona 500. Suck on that.
So when I was looking for a case, when I was looking for the dog hair one, this case is cited a lot is like being one of the first to introduce this mitochondrial dog hair DNA. It doesn't end up being a big factor in the case at all, really. You know what I mean? It's just another
piece.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't prove anything. If it could be one of 50 dogs, that doesn't prove anything.
They hooked up still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a reason that dog hair would be on her.
Yeah. I think this guy is 100% guilty. My neighbor could have a roll of duct tape with their dog hair on it that's a completely different breed, and you could give your analytically indistinguishable argument. It doesn't mean anything. It means you bought duct tape too and you have a dog with black hair. Like that doesn't mean anything. It's not evidence. I'm not even sure that that's circumstantial evidence. That might be coincidental evidence.
Yeah, I mean, take the dog hairs out of it completely. All the other evidence is super strong. It's circumstantial, but when you put it all together, it's pretty fucking strong.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
But we know that that's another reason I picked this case. I thought it'd be an interesting discussion, like Scott Peterson and Lucy Letby and all that kind of shit.
It just comes down to, and it's the same one that you guys had the debate in the Scott Peterson one. Like, we know he did it. We believe he did it. There's good evidence, but there is not direct evidence that makes this a wrap it up. This is closed case. Like, we feel good about this ending. It's just, you have to fill in a little bit of the gap yourself in this one.
Yeah.
And you let, common sense do the rest. But is that fair in the courtroom? Is what that question comes down to. Because if they got this one right on common sense and circumstantial evidence, how many do they get wrong?
I think that's a valid point. I think this guy probably did it, but I struggle with whether that's enough evidence to prove he did it.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I'm very happy with how this one ended.
And I heard you bring up Lucy Letby. I'm going to get crucified again for saying this. And I think that was a Patreon show, but I think there was enough reasonable doubt in her guilt. People in England hate her. They all think she's 100% guilty, but I don't know. I don't know that they proved that she was.
I've also been told this by my wife. She has recently watched a documentary and had me thinking maybe I should go back and read my notes, because I remember writing that outline and being like, fuck this bitch. Like, she needs to burn for what she did. And then, Dave, you kind of like poke some holes in it. I'm like, well, I don't know.
I would not be surprised if Lucy Letby gets out of jail someday. There was just last year some medical panel that said that what you provided did not prove anything that she did this. And I don't know.
Was that a
I don't want to take all
too?
this heat this year or this week, but
Was she? It was the one where she was believed to be killing patients,
little babies, yeah,
babies.
And
I can't remember if it was
it
babies or old
was
people.
it the NICU unit in the hospital?
Yeah.
But this hospital had other problems and oversight issues, and it was a Patreon episode, yes.
Patreon.com/Necronomicon if you want to get really pissed off at Dave.
You come at me all you want, but I question whether there was enough evidence to support that she did all of that. Maybe she did. I'm not sure that they proved it. I'm not sure they proved Scott Peterson was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt also.
I just go back to like cases like this one, cases like Scott Peterson. I feel very good with the final outcome, and as I think most people do. It just gets scary when it's not full on proof, and that that is part of the system that is now going after other people, right? Because you're not going to be batting 1,000 with stuff like this.
Sure.
And that's what makes it scary. I think
Yeah.
the right people got what they deserved in both cases, 100%.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying circumstantial evidence is not evidence. Of course it is. But I don't know if it's strong enough in this case to support a conviction.
There's a reason why it's called circumstantial evidence.
But it's still evidence, just like any other evidence. But I don't think it was strong. I definitely don't think it was strong enough to convict Scott Peterson. I just don't. I'm on the fence with this one, though. I think this jackass killed her for sure. But
I think it's just more maybe a cautionary tale about the whole system, really. But in these cases, it worked out, I think, probably the right way.
I like the cool forensics that were used in this case.
Yeah.
I like the hair dye too. That was like, it's not a smoking gun, but it's a nice bow to put on top of that hair, you know? And be like, hey, she fucking dyed her hair on the 19th.
It's an extra little twist.
This hair of hers was dyed here, so.
Yep. I agree.
But yeah, like you said, this dude for sure fucking did this. But yeah, there's not like that smoking gun.
I think if he was a little more careful, he probably would have got away with it.
And the thing is, he wasn't, it seemed, at all careful. Maybe if a little bit of care had went into this, he would have unfortunately probably got away with it. Let that be a lesson to all you out there. Don't fucking call me at 3 a.m. because you might end up, convicted of my murder. Look, if you call me at 3 a.m., I might just stage my own death so that you get convicted of murder, because don't fucking call me.
It's a bold statement, sir.
Yeah, well, let me fucking sleep. Leave me alone. You're not getting a booty call at 3 a.m.
You're tired. You worked all day.
Yeah, well, ever since Chris Benoit, my phone's off at night anyway, so good fucking luck. I'm not trying to get any creepy, cryptic text messages.
I have a note on my phone, just stupid shit I think up whenever. And I have a one line item that says Benoit's beignets. I don't really know what the joke was, and I don't remember what I was getting at, but it's in my phone.
I feel like you've said that before, or maybe I've heard that somewhere. I don't know.
It says Benoit's beignets will smother you with deliciousness.
Sounds like you were working on an ad.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where I was going with it though, and it's lost to my memory now.
I would try a Benoit beignet. We should flush that out with ChatGPT.
We should. So we're across the board guilty for this guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, anything else you found? Anything else related to this story we should touch on, or we cover it all?
No. I don't think I have anything else.
Well, all right.
I am going to be down in Cocoa Beach for a week in August because I'm out of my fucking mind. But if you guys would like me to do any investigations, I'll be available.
Will you bring a trench coat and do a Carl Monday in the August heat of Florida?
I will not. I will
Okay.
not.
Well, he would have, but I guess that's what separates you two. Dave, what do you got for us on the old Patreon?
Welcome and thank you to new patrons Tanner Kipka, Lauren Miller, Your Problem Now, Z-Man, Amat, Amanda Romero, MS, Francis Thornhill, M. Chens, Gemma Carmody, Cole Harden, Colton Beasley, Maddie Marvel, Kirsty Reeves, Arumi Vershore, Luke, Lana, Nina C., Mike Kelly, Formaldehyde and Seek, One True Legend, Lonnie Blair, S. Greg Branch, Hannah Abel, Christopher Taylor, Gabriel Drake, Daisy Ed 99, Lucas, Cami, Emery, and Jenna L. Shafir. Welcome to Patreon. My God, there's such a treasure trove of stuff waiting for you.
Years and years of content. We've touched on some of it tonight already.
We have. Go listen to my thoughts on Lucy Letby, and then come and tell me what a fucking jerk off I am.
There it is. It's out there probably somewhere. Patreon.com/Necronomipod is where it is. And this week we're going to have some fun stuff. We're getting back into some, what is it? Part 6, part 7.
Shit. Here, I'll look it up real quick.
Might be higher than that, pal.
I think it is higher than that.
We're going to dive into one of our most popular series, Paranormal Erotica. Let us light up your Valentine's Day by reading you the sultry notes of erotica as we find it on the internet, dealing with Mothman, Bigfoot, aliens.
Big's feet, sir.
No, I like Big's foot. Like attorneys general. It's Big's foot.
This will be the 10th Paranormal Erotica.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. That's really has some staying power, fellas.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that this week. That'll all be available on patreon.com/Necronomipod.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Put us on in the background as you make love to your loved one on Valentine's Day. Eat chocolates off of each other's asses as you listen to us talk about an alien penetrating your wife's vagina. You never know.
Maybe
You
try
never
to
know.
tie that balloon knot. Or untie that balloon knot, as the case
Untie
may
it.
be.
Ian, what do you got? Anything else on your end?
Nah, I'm good. We covered Patreon.
We kind of
That's what
jumped
we
the gun
got
on
going on.
Dave, you good?
I'm great. Thank you for asking, sir.
Great show. Everyone enjoy your Daytona 500. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Necronomipod, patreon.com/Necronomipod, necronomipod.com, and amazon.com. Search Necronomipod for all of our merch.
All right, you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.